Hey everybody, Kneecap here. Patch 7.1.5 is finally here, and this video is going to be a summary of the patch notes. They're very long. In the past, I've read through everything bit by bit. It's just going to be a summary, kind of the cliff notes of it. If you want a detailed look at everything, I'll have the link of the Warcraft site in the description, so you can go ahead and look there. Again, this is just a summary of everything new in 7.1.5. And I'm just going to start in the order that they go in. And the first new thing is for players 91 and higher, there's a new bonus event every few weeks. That's allowing people to do something bonus while they're still not max level. There's a new time walking vendor on Timeless Isle for the Mystic Pandaria time walking, which is here. Brawlers Guild is back, so there's a bunch of new boss solo fights. And there's a few new rewards, including the Burly Basilisk mount, which a lot of people are probably interested in, and the Tylar Grandin, which is a new battle pet. So there's some cool rewards there at this new Brawlers Guild, and there's a bunch of cool new bosses there as well. Invites to Brawlers Guild have been reset. Please look for Blood-Soaked Invitation when opening emissary bags or completing dungeons. There's new micro holidays. You might have read about some of these, but there's all kinds of these little tiny holidays to keep events a little bit more fresh in the game. Artifact knowledge and class hole updates. This one's important. New bond on account items are available from the artifact researcher in your class order hall. These items can be sent to alternate characters. They're BOA, bind on account. For new players just reaching 110, there's a set of repeatable quests that will allow you to immediately exchange order hall resources for artifact knowledge up to 15. So that lets you catch up to 15 at least. But the big news here is on your main character that's already artifact knowledged out, you can go ahead and buy a thing to get your alts to 20. That's pretty big. Find pre-moved groups from the quest tracker. When you're looking for players that are doing the same world quest, you can now easily search for groups in the quest tracker for group quests, which is basically just taking an add-on that already existed and putting it into the game. So a lot of you might already have this add-on. I don't know if it still works or if it's needed now. A lot of times add-ons are better than the normal UI. The Legion Companion app. It's updated to support the patch, including bug fixes and functionality improvements. There's the new legendary items have been implemented. So if you already have legendaries, you might want to look at them. They could have been changed. And there's also new legendary items. So that's you're going to want to look those up specifically. They're not in the patch notes, and see which legendaries you want now. In professions, many 3-star recipes have had their drop rates increased. They've added new neck enchants. Mark of Ancient Priestess now heals for 400% spell power. Martha Claw is 1000 haste crit, and it was 550. Trained Soldier 600 mastery. Mark of Hidden Satyr damage is now 200% spell power or 250% attack power, whichever is higher. Engineering, new class added, which rewards unlocks a new shoulder enchant for engineers. Boon of the Builder can be purchased to Hobart Grab, however the quest is completed. Sprocket containers from kills in the world about once an hour. These can contain guns, gun parts, and that's because engineering is a little bit expensive with the mats that they have to buy. There's 4 new goggles. There's all kinds of stuff added for engineers as well. Inscription, Vantage Rooms had benefit increased from 1,000 to 1,500 bursts. I'm guessing that holds really hard. The material cost of Vantage Rune recipes has been reduced by half. Jewel crafting, there are 6 new world quests and dollar titled Gem Cutter needed. That means you, probably. It's kind of funny. So now we're going to get into the class changes, and I can't go through all of it because it's so much on all the class changes, guys. I'll try to break down Paladin and Warrior a little bit more since that's what my channel focuses on, but I'll go through all the classes at least briefly and kind of try to let you know if it's a buff or a nerf, at least in my opinion. Go ahead and tell me if I'm wrong, but we'll see. Kind of go through these quickly. Death Knight, Blood Death Knight, Blood Tap recharge time, reduction per bone shield, consumed increased to 2 seconds, was 1 second. Bloodworm's healing increased, Blood Drinker total health leech increased, own can survive melee attacks, Bone Storm heal increased, Gorfin's Grasp cooldown now 2 minutes was 3, so that's a buff. Mark of Blood heal increased. Looks like all the healing was increased. Rune tap damage reduction increased. Empiric Blood now increased incoming absorbs as well as heals. Damage increased to 3. So yeah, Blood Death Knights definitely got buffed. That's the short story there. Frost, damage increase, damage increase, damage increase. Frost was buffed. Unholy, it's better have been buffed because it was weak. Yeah, Unholy is also buff. So general buff for Death Knights. Demon Hunter, Havoc. Looks like they're getting a little bit of their damage back. Demonic now says Desperate Instincts no longer replaces Burr and now increases the damage reduction effect. Fell Barrage damage increased. Not like a huge buff or anything, but it is definitely they are definitely buffed back up a little bit. So uh, you might have felt your DPS go down throughout the first 7.1s, but it should go back up at least a little bit. Vengeance tanking Demon Hunters, tons of changes. Wow, this is crazy. Demonic Wars now increases stamina by 55%, so more health. Um, Demon Spikes was nerfed, which I don't understand that. Demonic Wars now reduces self damage taken by 10%. Was Holy Magic. That helps a little bit. Nether Bond has been removed. Razor Spikes increase your physical damage by 3. While Demon Spikes is active, was 20%. Soul Barrier cost 10 pain was 30. Spirit Bomb now deals fire damage. Was Shadow. I mean, their damage was increased, I think, overall. But I don't know. I don't know enough about Demon Hunters yet. They're still new. It looks fairly similar, just with a lot of changes, I guess, if that makes sense. Druid, there's a bunch of just random changes to Druids as well. But Balance, the damage done by most Balance spells has been increased by 4%. Damage increased by 31%. Definitely a buff, small overall buff, but looks like some individual moves were buffed higher. Feral increased by 8% in general. And again, some spells are a little bit higher than 8%. Guardian, 4% more damage. And let's see if there's any important. They've lost a little bit of armor. Gory Fur. They lost a little bit of their Gory Fur. So their damage went up, but some of their livability, survivability went down a little bit. But they're still probably going to be strong. Resto Druid is not very many changes there. No Moment of Clarity no longer increases maximum energy. Moment of Clarity now increases healing of affected spells. Power of Arch Druid radius increased to 20 yards, was 15. Hunters. Beast Mastery increased by 9% damage. Barrage damage increased by 80% for Beast Mastery only. It's interesting. Makes them a little bit better AoE. One with the pack bonus increased to 30%, was 15. So some of their moves were increased by more, but at least, in general, 9% buff. Marksmanship, aim shot damage increased by 35%. So aim shot's a lot stronger at least. Looks like they weren't just generally increased with an aura, but a lot of their moves were increased. I don't see any. Piercing shot was decreased, but they generally had their moves increased, so that's good. Explosive shot now costs focus, so I guess that's not good for them. Survival, damage done by most survival spells been increased by 12%. Great. Um, I say that just because I've had trouble with them in PvP at times. So I don't know a lot about these new survival hunters. I'm just going to try to tell you if I can sort out. Obviously, it's a buff. 12% is quite a bit. But some of their moves have been increased by more. And some looks like a cooldown's been removed. So you should be sitting pretty there. Arcane buffed by 12%. Arcane orb damage been increased by 477%. They did remove mage armor. And shield renamed Frost Barrier. Oh yeah, they have these new barriers for mages as well, which is kind of cool. They also nerfed Rune of Power to 40% from 50%. Try to get you to change your talents up a little bit. I don't know if people will or not. They changed a lot of talents actually. So at 15, you get a new spell at 26, new talent at 30, new talent at 30, new talent at 75, new talent at 100. So you just kind of look at your talents, mages. There's a lot of changes for you. Fire damage. Damage done by most fire spells has been increased by 27%. So they heard the nerf and they're coming to help you because that's a lot of damage. Cauteries now looks like that's just kind of the general of it. was 27%. Mirror Image's fireball damage increased by 122%, so Mirror Image might be more viable now, especially in a moving fight. Um, that's cool. And then again, the talents and new moves. Frost, damage done by Frost is 12, so 12, 12 to Frost Arcane, but 27 to Fire. And that should keep them all very similar in theory, although Fire could take the lead in the game. Monk, Brewmaster, damage done has been increased by 9%. Other than that, they looks like they have generally the same everything, so that's good. And they get a little bit more dodge from Elusive Dance, so that's cool. Mistweaver, Mastery, Gust of Mist, healing increased by 30%. That's pretty good. So they're going to get a little bit more healing from Mastery. Reduced to 15 seconds, cooldown's now 90 down. So a slight buff for Mistweavers, nothing big, no big changes. Windwalker, damage done, increased by 8%. So, I mean, everyone's pretty much getting a buff with Nighthold coming out, and TOV being a little bit harder than they expected. So everyone's kind of getting a little bit of a buff, but that should make Mythic Pluses easier too, which could be helpful. So Paladin, I'll go into Paladin a little bit more than I did the other ones. Holy, Beacon of Faith no longer has cooldown. Beacon of Light, no cooldown. Beacon of Virtue now costs 10% of base mana, was 15. Holy Shock now damages at 280% spell power, down from 350. So not as much damage done for us Holy Pallies. Protection, Aegis of Light cooldown reduced to 3 from 5. Blessed Hammer now reduces auto attack damage by 12, was 15. And Holy Shield now increases your block chance by 15, was 10. So very, very, very slight buff to Prot. Retribution, this is what I need right now. Damage done 12%, I noticed that right away. Retribution now gains 100% bonus to Consecration. Divine Hammer damage has been increased by 100% as well, so better AoE. Execution Sentence damage increased by 55%. That's interesting. Greater Blessing of Might has been removed. Wisdom Kings can still be cast in combat. Greater Blessing of Wisdom restores 0.2% health mana every 2 seconds, was 3 seconds, and Greater Blessing of Kings absorbs 270% spell power, was 180. Fist of Justice now reduces the remaining cooldown of Hammer Justice by 2.5 seconds per holy power spent. Divine Intervention now reduces cooldown of Divine Shield by 20% from 50%. Seal Fight replaces Judgment of Light. World of Glory. Word of Glory healing has been increased by 33%. So obviously the 12% buff to basically all the moves is going to be a big deal, and I already saw that testing that out. Priest, Discipline, Shadow Covenant has been updated. Now increases healing by 450, which is a slight nerf. No longer replaces Power Word Radiance. Burst of Light trait no longer affects Shadow Covenant. So not a huge, just one little minor nerf, but it's an instant cast now, so I don't know if that's a nerf or not. Maybe not having to cast it's worth it. Holy Priest, that's a prayer at level 52, prayer of healing increase. Cooldown of prayer of ending by 2 seconds. Reduces. Prayer of healing now only heals the target for an stylized. Symbol of hope duration is now 12 seconds. Generally the same. It looks like a couple things were increased, a couple things were decreased, but not by like monumental amounts. Shadow, there's a lot of changes here. Increased by 25%, which is just crazy. Legacy of the Void requires 65 sanity with 70. Lingering Sanity is now a talent, replacing Void Lord. Lingering Sanity now causes Void Form's haste increase to fade by 2% every second when Void Form ends. Mind Spike has been removed. Mind Seer has been removed. Talent level 90 is Misery. Vampiric Touch also applies Shadow Word Pain to the target. Shadow Crash moved to 100. Shadow Word Death generates 15 insanity. Vampiric Touch. Void Bolt now extends the durations. Void Form. Void Lord has been removed. Void Form now increases shadow damage by 20%, was 30%. So while their moves got buffed, some of the other things have been changed or nerfed. And Shadow Priests are just going to have to give feedback, because I know a lot of Shadow Priests have been unhappy this X pack. Rogue, Assassination Rogue. The damage done by Assassination ability has been increased by 7%. I'm just going to kind of go through and do that until I get to Warrior. Their overall damage increase. Outlaw, your damage increase has been increased by 16. Subtlety, the damage done by most subtlety abilities has been increased by 9. Shaman, Elemental, Earth Elemental has been updated. That's kind of cool. Now it's 400% of the caster's armor, was 200%, 25. Wow, so it's a lot stronger. How about that? It doesn't look like they have a general buff aura. Let's see if any of their moves are buffed. Ice Fury damage is higher. Liquid Magma Totem. So like your elementals are higher, your totems are higher damage, but your damage itself might not be much higher. Enhancement increased by 16%. Holy cow. I'm going to have to let a buddy know about that. Wow, so big buff for enhancement, and if you're playing enhancement right and have the right trinkets, you're going to be pushing out some major damage. They nerfed Chain Heal for Resto, increased Healing Stream, Queen's Dance increased, Unleash. So they nerfed Chain Heal, but buffed 4 other spells. Warlock, Affliction, looks like no general bonus, but a couple of the moves were buffed. Demonology, Demon Bolt damage bonus now 18% was 20. Power Trips was 50. Looks like mostly the same, maybe a slight nerf to Demonology. Destruction, the damage done by most expression spells have increased by 4%, so they at least got a little bit of a buff. Let's get into Warrior, and I'll kind of go through Warrior. Shockwave stuns for 1 less second. Damage done by most arms abilities has been increased by 5%, which is nice because I think it was only going to be 4 at one point. Other than that, let's see if there's anything monumental in there. Charge slows the target for 6 seconds by 50%. That's cool. Titanic Might no longer reduces the effectiveness of Colossal Smash. Fury, damage done by most Fury abilities again 5%. Dragon Roar increases your damage by 16%, down from 20, which kind of stinks. Fresh Meat increases Bloodthirst critical strike chance by 60 instead of 40. A lot of talent changes here. That's really all there is. Protection, a lot of changes to Proud Warriors. I think they were all slight buffs. I think I've read these before. Let's see, Ravager increases your chance by 35. Revenge damage increase. Revenge has a 3-second cooldown, costs 30 rage. Dodge parry makes your next revenge free. Safeguard now takes 30% damage from 20. Thunderclap generates 5 rage and its damage has been increased. Ultimatum has been removed. Warbringer now stuns 2.5 seconds. Warless Chance also reduces the cooldown of Berserker Rage. Class Hall changes. Legendary item adjustments. This is you'll have to go through and read it. I'll just go through and tell you the ones that changed. Agramar's Stride, Sindaria the Symbiote, Norganon's Foresight, Pardes, Zavoric's Magnum Opus, Roots of Shaldrasil, and Sephiroth's Secret. Demon Hunter had 3 changes. Death Knight had 4. Druid 5 changes. Hunter 1, 2, 3, 6 legendary changes. Mage 4 changes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Monk 5 changes. Paladin 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 changes. Priest 5 changes. Rogue 4 changes. Shaman 4 and Warrior 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 changes for Warrior, and finally 5 changes for Warlock. They went out of alphabetical order there. PvP dampening now begins immediately in skirmish and arenas. I think that's nice. Honorary plans to replace taunt effects or tank specials. They show now cause the original taunt effect to be applied to non-target players. Obviously, that would make sense. Class adjustments in PvP. I'm not going to get into these. There's too many changes, and I wouldn't be doing you a service because I don't know other classes PvP other than Paladin and Warrior. So I would just be doing you a disservice by trying to tell you what changed in the PvP. Quests. Fixed bugs preventing Kirin Emissary World quests from always providing a minimum of 4 available quests. All world quests will be regenerated this patch. So that's it. It's super long, like I kind of tried to warn you about. If you stuck with me this long, thank you. Thumbs up and sub. It helps me out a ton, guys, and I really appreciate it. And everyone have a good one, and I hope you enjoy 7.1.5.